So, let's go. So, at the Gecko State, in the Dark Continent, here's Shirota filling in Crusher's command, which is mostly just Otsuka on the bottom there, about our new friends from the parallel universe. But when he gets to the part where they're from Zambot 3, from Zuth, Otsuka goes, "Wait, Zuth? You saying Zuth?" Yeah, like the Ghetto Boys in Z1 just completely disappeared and there's no mention of them at all in the epilogue. It's messed up. They wished for a world where those guys didn't exist. But Otsuka recognises the name. And it turns out that other soldiers and robots saying that they're with Zuth has been folding in around the planet, and even some in space, which is, what happened on the other route. Hi, fanboy, how you doing? And it looks like Ames Dricker's, the Calamity Birth, has cut holes in stuff. And so, to more than where just Gaia came from. The good news is that the Zuthers are all very well behaved and on our side. We can use all the help we can get against the Imperium. The boy, Cape, though, did say that his team fights against evil. So, it's sign him up. But going by the news around the world, Otsuka on the bottom, I guess, is that more of Cape's allies will be falling in around the Dark Continent. And he's telling us to pick them up. If we find any. And speaking of the Dark Continent, they're going to send us some extra soldiers of their own, but there's a catch. So, meanwhile, Zex is catching up on stuff that happened in other dimensions. It's been about 20 years since the big quake in the Zuth universe. And it was the same situation as, now. But about a year ago, a whole lot of shit went down at once. Which was all of the events of Z1, right? Zuth cleaned it up. It's been pretty quiet, pretty stable since then. What explains that the big threat for us right now is the dimensional monsters and their boss, Gaio. But there are loads of other stuff to deal with too, and Cape's like, "Don't worry, dude, I'll be behind you all the way." And then, speaking about parallel universes, what's the deal with that, alternate Gecko you mentioned? You mentioned, an alternate Renton and Gecko and Holland and stuff? And, Gecko's like, I don't know if we should be telling this, but they're gonna spill the beans anyway. The Zuth universe had all of the dudes are here. And they're alternate versions of the other Zexus members. Cafe feels that each of them, despite having the same name and face, is like a completely different person here. And Keiko and Ichuda stop him from going into any details. Doesn't he remember what happened to Setsuko? And then Hayato and everyone's like, Setsuko? And Keiko explains that Setsuko was a fellow member in Zuth who lost her comrades in the war. And, Double Zeta Gundam just didn't show up in the Z series at all, because they fucked it. But, she lost a team in the war, and then later found alternate versions of her fallen friends in a parallel universe, and reformed the team. But, we laid down rules about dealing with parallel selves. Don't compare alternate versions to the versions you know first, and don't let the alternates compare themselves. And Musashi here says that's probably for the best, because he wouldn't want to know if something horrible happened to an alternate version of himself anyway. And he fucking died. He gave his life valiantly to defeat the Dinosaur Empire. But that's why Team Zambot aren't going to talk about anything from Zuth who happens to have a doppelganger. In Classic Zeta, not the movie version, Z2.1. I mean, I don't think you can really tell, because it's only... No, I would say it's probably movie version, movie version. Because Camille never had any problems in his head. So, I don't know how you could tell that it's Classic Zeta, not movie version from this onward. Because it's literally just Camille and Far and Quattro. Do you have an intensive Al? No! Hayato and Ryoma are friends, as good friends as they can be. Yeah, this is Cafe sort of mostly post-series. Like, all the hypnotism and battle training that made him good and cool was undone, and he was just a 10-year-old boy in a robot in space crying. But he fought anyway and won and defeated the bad men. But yeah, the Eureka 7 people, though, have locked themselves behind closed doors for another cryptic meeting. And we were like, hey, Holland acted real weird when he saw the Zambot team. And Ryoma was like, I'm keeping my eye on Holland. And then this dude shows up, and it's Dr. Mishima, Dr. Shikishima. And he's like, ah, yes, the Dark Continent. And Ryoma was like, dang it! Professor, what the fuck are you doing, Hakase? What are you doing around here, Mishima? And he just says, ah, the aroma of battle wafts in from all directions, and the Imperium's on the move too. The scientist's blood is boiling. Yeah, blood is boiling. And with him is also Michiru, Professor Saotome's daughter, and research assistant, and big stompy boots come in. Benkei Kuruma, the backup pilot for the Getters. He's not very good though. He's mostly just fat and old. Michiru does the introductions and introduces her and Benkei. And Benkei's proud to stand ready to keep the Getter running in case something happens to Ryoma, Hayato, and Musashi. And Musashi's like, ah, don't worry, we're invincible. Nothing will ever stop us. Yeah, Michiru's the dude who, when he's held at gunpoint by a submachine gun, with it like actually to his temple, he's like, "Oh man, is that a heckler and crush? I've always wanted to be killed by one of those. Go on, unload it into my fucking mouth." But yeah, essentially, like, you don't have anything to worry about. But Saotome handpicked Benkei, and like Heida's like, well, if Saotome handpicked him, then he must be like up to the job at least. But Mishima's here to fix up the Getter, because it hasn't been in for its tune-up since we joined Celestial Being, and he's supposed to tell the Getter team to call back to the lab. And I was like, damn, what could Mrs. Saotome want? And here's Saotome. Mostly what he wanted to do is go at Ryoma for getting GG's, just call like Gramps, but rudely. He's like, hey, so you got beat up by the Kisama, you got beat up by the Imperium, hurry Ryoma, eat shit. He's like, wow, really? That's what you're opening with, shitlord? But then he sees that Ryoma's eyes haven't given up hope, so he orders, and he's like, please Ryoma, draw out the full power of the Getter. If you can do that, you'll be invincible. But according to him, they're not even halfway there. And he's having Mishima shorten Getter's combination timing window by 0.2 seconds. And he expects them to master it before they come back crying to him. And it's like, yeah, well, soon it'll be the Getter whining because it can't keep up with our sick moves, old man. And then Saotome says that when that happens, he'll have a new Getter waiting for him. Just try and get it done within the next 3 years, right? And then Ryoma was like, I don't think you got 3 years left to live, old man. He's like, foolish boy, I'll not die until I perfect the power of the Getter rays. See you, Ryoma. Then he hangs up. Konajiji, that shithead old man. And everyone else is like, yeah, so this guy, that's Saotome. And Saka's like, wow, that's Professor Saotome, the man who did the Getter ray, guys. And Koji's like, and Koji just goes, wow, he's got a real strong force of will and strict and fucking nuts, I guess. But Michiru assures him that her dad really does believe in the team he picked. And Ryoma grumbles about it. He's got faith in the good doctor. And he's got it right. Mishima's work's just about done, so it's time for Ryoma to point his range at the real bad dudes. And they're going to head out to test out the new machines and practice so they can use them at full power. So, Hayato, Musashi, let's go. And then Leron says he got a message from Crow, who's out on a scouting run. There's a battle going on 50 kilometers away. Perfect timing, Could it be the Imperium or Beastmen? But either way, time to take the new Getter out for a spin. And this is chapter 25 on the Peace Council route, A Faraway World. And it's Beastmen, and they are led by Viral in his Enkidu. But here's Jiron, there's a Bungle, and El Cheeto. And the last thing they knew, they were chasing Timp over here. And suddenly, Beastmen everywhere. And there's Rag too. And there's Chiro. Fucking love Chiro. And also sucked in is the King Gainer people. There's Gainer, there's the idiot, there's the Dominator. So there's Gainer, there's Gain, there's Sarah and the crew, and there's Cynthia and the Dominator. And Gainer was just sitting in the classroom a minute ago, and then boink! Now he's over here. The rest of them had all split up and gone all over the world, but then Dimension Burst later, boing! Here they are, all in one place, in somewhere new, and all in their robots. And here's Adet, he's good as hell. Anna's here too. There's Gary, there's Sarah. And Cynthia is here, like, she even locked her overman away, so she's, like, really surprised to have been teleported into the Dominator. And there's Bellows, who sucks. And here's Viral. And he heard that Cowan was back in town, and he brought his crew out for some human hunting. But instead he found some much more entertaining prey. And here's Timp. He's like, yo, brother, how about a truce? And John's like, I don't want anything to do with you, dude. Fuck you. And Timp's like, oh, come on. We can't afford to do this right now. We're gonna get murdered. So let's work together. He's like, alright then. Fine. And Gainer is like, come on, we've got to work together or we'll all fucking die. And John's like, oh, alright then. Fine, Gainer. I'll work with him. And now, here, let's go, Cynthia. Show him that you're the ace of the goalie squad. Let's show him what the Sand Rats have got. Alright, let's get him. And I was like, alright, bring it. Top you up, good. King Gainer. Do we have a mission yet? Okay, we do. Let's look it up. Defeat all enemies, saving Enkidu for last within 3 turns. So we got the Zabungles. And we got the King Gainers. And here's Timp. We're allowed to use Timp, and Timp's good. Timp's really good. He's really good. Howdy, Alexis. How you doing? Look at me, you ain't missed nothing yet. Let's find Tim. Come on, dude, you gotta... Damn! Last I knew, that melonhead fella and his gang were on my tail, and then I got dropped here. Well, isn't that fella was bad news? It's the end. Yeah, Jiren's the melon-headed fellow. Here I come! Is that the best you got? Na-na-na-na-na-na. This guy, he's got a head like a melon. He actually is like melon shaped, he's fucked up. Oh, I guess I'm in just hell today?